Hey, dude. Hey, doggy. Hey, good boy. Oh, Theodore. Yeah. Ah, I smell fall in the air, and it's amazing. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me for this video today. Or in this video, I'm gonna show you a failed experiment of mine. Now, it's not a total failure because I learned another way not to do this. I have more tools in my belt of gardening knowledge, if you will. Zucchini in the South is a very hard thing to grow, because if you're not working under some kind of cover, it gets ravaged by this bug called the squash vine borer and the squash vine borer moth, which is the adult and the larva of the same bug. So it sucks. I've tried spraying, I've tried diatomaceous earth, I've tried covering it. So I'm going to explain to you what I did throughout this year, and hold on. There we go. So what I did this last year and what didn't work, mostly because I wasn't consistent with it, but here's the first things that I did. I tried sowing zucchini seeds in multiple different places to see maybe the vine borers would get one and not the other, but they got all of them. So I had it out by the side of the house, I had it back behind the fence, I had it in this garden, and I had some in pots. And lastly, which don't look completely spent, but honestly, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. It's a pain. I need to use this netting for my brassicas because that's what's coming up for the fall garden. I'm gonna dump this in the chicken yard and let them pick at the aphids in here, but let's go in order. So first, I planted some zucchini seeds where I have those half circle spots or half circle garden bed extensions on the ends of some of my raised beds. And those were the first to go. I think I had 2 or 3 in there that sprouted, didn't give me any fruit. The only one that gave me fruit was the one out by the house. And after I harvested that one, it was literally less than a week later, I was pulling it out of the ground because of the squash vine borer took it. So that sucked. And after that happened, I tried putting out an extra in-ground bed back behind the fence where I mulched, and I basically just kind of left them alone, which was probably not a good idea. I should have been on a stricter schedule for spraying or covered it with insect netting. Though, insect netting is not 100% guarantee you're gonna get zucchini either, because as you can see, I have aphids all over this. It's like molding this flower. There's aphids all over this thing. It's done so much damage that I'm just not willing to try to save it at this point. So here's what I'm going to do next year. I think next year, instead of starting it, not covering it at first, I am going to grow it under my cattle panel greenhouses. and started earlier in the year before the squash vine borer is really out and about. Now I haven't put the video out yet because it's not done, but I plan to set up a kettle panel greenhouse tunnel with each one having 4 of my raised beds in it. I'm gonna do 2, and I was just looking at the plastic. It's gonna cost me $100 per greenhouse to get the plastic. So here we go. I haven't moved this cattle panel right in front yet because it still has the loofah growing on it, and I want to wait till the loofah is done in order to move it. But I'm going to move it like this one in the back is, and then I'm going to put some sort of support in the middle. I might get an extra cattle panel and put it in the middle here so that it doesn't sag. But that's the plan. And I'm going to try growing some zucchini early, as well as other things. Ooh, something just came buzzing really close to my head. Side note, look at this monstrosity. This huge zinnia plant. Okay. Anyway, that is that. That's my plan for next year, is to try to grow it under the greenhouse plastic earlier in the season. So I'm sharing this with you because not everything in the garden is a success. Probably half of the things are not a success. So I being real here, showing you guys that it's okay. And I'm gonna try again next year. Now I know that even if it's covered with the insect netting, aphids and ants can still get on it. So what happens with the aphids, they can't get up there themselves, so the ants place them there, and they basically set up like an aphid farm where the ants come and go and milk the aphids, and the aphids suck the juices out of the plant and make like a milk, like I assume, or like some sort of substance that the ants like. So the ants come and like extract it somehow from the aphids. Super gross, but that's what happens. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you learned something like I did with this experience. And if you need a friend to learn how to garden with, I'm your girl. Happy gardening.